In today's class, we'll be talking about HTML editing. Without further ado, let's dig in. Alright, so we have the HTML structure here already. So what we need to do is to use the HTML heading tag, and we have the heading to be H1 to H6. So I'm using heading 1. Then remember we have to close the tag. So alright, so we save this work. Remember we need to save. So file, save, or Ctrl S, then I go to desktop. Then I want to make the title to be headings. Remember, we use the file extension .html or .htm. Any name you want to use to save this document, it must have the file extension .html or .htm. So I'm going to click on save now. I'm going to my desktop to check my desktop for it. I have the heading here. So all I need to do is to click on it and it will open a new tab. Now I have heading 1 to 6 and I can see how they appear here. What is the essence of having this heading 1? So I have a template. These are used to determine the size of text when it comes to online platform. Like visiting a website, sometimes you see the title. So when I want to give, I need a text that should be very big. Or if I want the text to be like a normal sentence, maybe I will use paragraph or heading 6. So these are the things we use to determine size. We don't have the font size like maybe Microsoft Word here that we can easily go to size 14, big size 16. So we use this element to determine the size of the document. For example, I have an example here. This is it. So if I want my title or the size of this writing to be big, this is the main heading, which this could actually be H1 or H2, the next one. So we are going to try this using the element. So let's try something like this. So I'll open my code. Let me put my code aside so that we can work with this. So I have my code here. So this time around I want to replace what I have here. Just bear in mind that we have the H1 to H6. So let's say this is heading 1. What do I have there? This is the main heading. Then what I'm going to do next is to close the H1. Then I go to the next one. Let's use H3. Let's use H3 or here, or let's use H1 depending on what you want. You can actually check the size. So let's use H3 for now. This is a second heading. So H3, then I close the tab. Now so I'm going to save in addition to the save. Then I'll go to my browser and reload. Then I reload. So look at it. So if like what we have here, is it the same as what we are creating? Look at it. This is the main heading. If you check here, which is our output, we also have this is the main heading. And this second heading looks a bit smaller to what we have here. So which means I'm supposed to use H2 here. H2. So let's change it to H2 and I save and let's reload this. So I think we are good here. Yes, I think we are good. So this is it. This is the second heading. Now as for the last part, which is the next one, the next section rather, we have Lorem Ipsum. This is just a template. We use it as a template. So let's just type a few lines of this write-up. So let's try it. Now looking at it, we think this Lorem Ipsum should be like H6, right? So let's try H6. Let's see what we have, if that will work. So next I'm using H6, which is the smallest when it comes to picking heading style. So let's type the Lorem Ipsum or Ipsum. So let's stop here. So I am going to close the tag. So let's save and reload. Let's see what we have as our output. Yeah, it's smaller. Awesome. But is it the same? That is what we need to confirm. Look at the lorem ipsum and the lorem ipsum here. They are not the same, which means this is not an heading. So to achieve something like this, we are supposed to use, if you remember, after the H1 to H6, I added the paragraph. So we are supposed to use paragraph here. Remember, I said this enable us to select size. Look at it, and let's check out the other ones. You see, it's the same. So the same thing applies. So if I want to move to the next thing, I'll maybe probably use H2 again here, and I'll use the lorem ipsum. You're welcome.